Assalamu alaikum and welcome to session 2. I still claim it as a session 2 as the last session when we were running. We have to cut it a little short. We had some guest from Canada who was running a session around the internal audit, and I hope most of you have joined that and enjoyed that. We will start with our routine, and we have to start with the same thing. And I would like and definitely would like to commend that Asim Amin started with the same. Hug yourself and say, I love me. That's our starting point. Hug yourself. So I hope everybody is hugging themselves and making it a routine. So I can see only a comment from Asim. Okay, guys, we will be taking breaks around 6:30 for Maghrib prayer for 10 minutes. So do let me know if there is any change required given the different time zones. Before going for not a routine though, Alina. I think that's something which are important, and we will be keep talking about the routine habits and the behaviors. So so Hamid Khan has got birthday today. Happy birthday, Hamid. So before going to prayer, I just want to give you a little flavor around the career zones. And what we will do after prayer, we will try to run a poll around it based on the learning in this, or at least the criteria which I'm going to share with you. I'll encourage you to fill a form and try to judge yourself. That's not something which we do every day. You have to judge yourself that which career zone you belong to, right? So let's look at the career zones. Any idea, any feedback, uh, anybody who is aware of the career zone? Anybody before we start? Okay, 6:50. Okay, insurance advocate, comfort zone. Nabil, Ibrahim, this comfort zone is something which we are trying to break. So it's a career zones, not the comfort zones. So we are trying to make an effort. Business trainer, okay. Business transformer, okay, good. Audit advisory, digital playmaker. So some people have gone through that PI earlier as well. Data analyst, yeah. Management, data science, data science. Okay, great. Can you categorize yourself before we dive into the career zone? Can you tell me in a 1 or 2 words which career zone you are in? Anyone, which career zone you are in? If you have to categorize yourself, okay, ERP specialist, freelance service industry, professional mentor, finance manager, voice breaking. Sidra, you have to check your internet connection. Anybody else facing the same issue, voice breaking? Okay. Okay, when you categorize yourself in career zones, you categorize based on what? The area you are working on or the competencies you have? Nature of the industry, where area I'm working on. Okay. Let's look at what ACCA has figured out in terms of the career zone, right? So ACCA has got a competency framework. There are 12 competencies. How many people who are seeing that first time in their life? Be honest. ACCA competency framework, 12 competencies. Great. Okay, great. So ACCA entire qualification, all the CPD, your entire journey is developed around the competency framework. So this is the competency framework, and you achieve that either sitting in exams. That's where we evaluate, ACCA evaluate that and certify that. Using ethics and professional skills module, that's where you develop some of the competencies, and then some of the competency or proficiencies of the same competencies you attain during the training when you go for 36 months training. So ACCA qualification is designed around these competencies, or even when you pick up the optional paper, you pick up one of a competency from here. There are 5 competencies which are essential: ethics and professionalism, governance, risk and control. You might have seen it in a different format in Circle or somewhere, but this, I always find it's an easier way to really present it. So governance, risk and control, stakeholder relationship management, leadership management, strategy and innovation. So these are the 5 essential competencies which you develop during the exam phase, your ethics and professional skills modules, or previously called ethics module, and your 36 months training by completing your performance objective. But look at those 5 which are essential. You cannot become a member unless until you are able to demonstrate these 5 essential competencies. And none of that essential competency include anything from finance. These are the fundamental social skills, or ethics and professionalism is a lens which you use to evaluate, or whenever you are engaging people or you are making certain assessment or developing opinion. So ethics and professionalism remain your key lens which you use. So 5 essential competencies हैं, और ये एज अ मेंबर यू हैव गॉन थ्रू विद इन द एग्जाम. और इसमें अगर आप एसीसीए के कॉम्पिटेंसी फ्रेमवर्क पे जाएंगे, एसीसीए की ग्लोबल वेबसाइट पे आप सर्च करेंगे, तो एग्जैक्टली यू कैन डिटरमिन कि किस एग्जाम में किस चैप्टर में ये कॉम्पिटेंसीज जो हैं वो डेवलप हो रही हैं. सो आपको सेक्शन तक लेके जाता है, एग्जाम लेवल तक लेके जाता है कि किस एग्जाम के किस एरिया से इसका लिंक है. और फिर परफॉर्मेंस ऑब्जेक्टिव्स भी जो आपने कंप्लीट किए हैं, दे आर ऑल लिंक्ड विद दीज कॉम्पिटेंसीज. इसके अलावा एक 6th कॉम्पिटेंसी है, ये रिसेंटली लास्ट 2 इयर्स में, लास्ट 2-3 इयर्स में डेवलप ज्यादा हुई है, जिसमें कुछ एग्जाम्स के नाम भी चेंज हो गए हुए. सो डेटा, डिजिटल एंड टेक्नोलॉजी. So it's not part of essential one, but if you ask me, this is something which everybody must have. So 5 are essential, and those 7 are which are not essential, out of which data, digital and technology, I would suggest is highly desirable for any accountant as we speak today. And then audit assurance is a technical side, advisory and consultancy, where you work on merger, acquisition, culture, advisory, and there's a long list of the areas people can undertake if they have that competency. Corporate and business reporting, that's linked with the external reporting as well as internal reporting. Financial management is more around the investment management, option analysis, evaluating the stock markets, the investment portfolio. Management accounting is all related with the performance management, and taxation is definitely, as the name suggests, ये आपकी एक बड़ी specific niche area होता है जिस पे आप operate कर रहे होते हैं. So again, there are 5 competencies which are essential, and none of those competency, the essential one, are related with the technical skills. It's all related with your personality traits, the way you evaluate things. और इन तमाम competencies के लिए एक बड़ा अच्छा document ACCA की website पे exist करता है, that is ACCA Competency Framework, और वो बड़ा अच्छा refresher है इस way में कि वो आपको आपके एग्जाम्स के कंटेंट के साथ लिंक डेवलप कर देता है, और आपके परफॉर्मेंस ऑब्जेक्टिव जो ट्रेनिंग के हैं उसके साथ एक लिंक डेवलप कर देता है। और इसके बाद आपकी स्पेशलाइजेशंस हैं, और वो स्पेशलाइजेशन में से एक विच आई ऑलवेज सजेस्ट कि बेयर मिनिमम डाटा, डिजिटल एंड टेक्नोलॉजी वाला एरिया आपने जरूर देखना है। इन्हीं कॉम्पिटेंसीज के अगेंस्ट सब्सिक्वेंटली सीपीडी डेवलप होते हैं, और उन्हीं सीपीडीज को बेस्ड ऑन योर रेलिवेंट एरिया you pick up and you keep updating yourself, at least spending 40 hours within a year to learn or stay relevant and learn new things and whatever the evolution is happening in this one. So understand your entire qualification is designed around this competency framework. ये 2012 से इस नाम से इस लैंग्वेज के साथ ये ACCA की वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल है। इसमें इवॉल्व हुआ है, लेकिन इसी नाम के साथ ये अवेलेबल है ACCA की वेबसाइट पे। एनी क्वेश्चन सो फार? Okay, I think I never knew data digital is also ACCA competency. Now let's see, ACCA ने अभी 2020 के बिल्कुल beginning में, I think March April में, they have launched a one PI जिसमें एक complete 5 career zones की discussion हो रही थी कि 5 career zones, how those career zones are structured, और इसके लिए अगर आपने ACCA की वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे तो आपको एक प्रोफेशनल इनसाइट अवेलेबल होगी फ्यूचर रेडी टैलेंट के नाम से। सो किसी भी एक सस्टेनेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हवाले से आप देखेंगे तो हमें 5 किस्म के रोल्स चाहिए होते हैं, या प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटेंट कैन ऑप्ट फॉर 5 डिफरेंट कैरियर जोन्स। The assurance advocates, that's mean people who are working on a assurance side, internal audit hai, external audit hai, special assignments hai, review assignments hai, so वो आपका एक assurance advocate का role होता है। The business transformer, the people who lead the change within the organization. The data navigator are the people who are working with the large data or big data, or acting as a data analyst. So वो data navigation का एक पूरा role है, या navigator का एक role है। Digital playmaker, the people who really work on the modern digital technologies and use that to really drive new economic models, or basically these are the guys who really help to generate that 10x growth. The sustainability trailblazer is a combination where you have, based on a different roles, you reach to the level, or you combine those competencies in a way that you manage to do most of the stuff in a different situation, but that will require a very ultimate balance of the competencies. इसी के अराउंड में जो चीजें आपको सपोर्टिंग एरिया आपको चाहिए होता है, दोज आर कॉल्ड 7 क्वोशंट। विजन एक क्वोशंट है, एक्सपीरियंस एक क्वोशंट है। Experience doesn't mean the experience in number of years. Experience mean how you generate an experience for people you interact with. It's a user experience then. Emotional quotient है, how intelligent you are, how you really evaluate the situation, और आप एक emotionally intelligent way में लोगों को engage करते हैं। Creative quotient is all around using your existing knowledge and really trying to find solution for the new problem. Technical and ethical is all around the quotient where you have got a technical skills and you have got ethical lens. Intelligence quotient is IQ. Digital quotient is your engagement or understanding of the digital technology. और आपका पूरा कैरियर जो है वो अडेप्टेशन, स्किल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और लर्निंग एवोल्यूशन के फेज से गुजर रहा होता है, right? So let's go back to fundamental. There are 5 career zones, which are assurance advocate, the business transformer, data navigator, digital playmaker, sustainability trailblazer. So these are the 5 career zones. अब अगर एक शख्स ने ACCA किया, उसने ट्रेनिंग की, वो मेंबर बन गया, उसने कुछ स्किल्स डेवलप किए, और आज हम बात करते हैं कि भाई एक्चुअली आप तो जो है यू आर वर्किंग इन एश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री, बट ACCA तो आपको डिजिटल प्ले मेकर भी बना सकता था, और आपका ज्यादातर लोगों का जो who are not working in that digital space, they will come back, हमें तो पता ही नहीं था, ना किसी ने हमें बताया और ना किसी ने हमें हेल्प की, और you will come up with a long list के why you are not digital playmaker and why it's somebody's who you can blame it for, right? So let's see what does it mean. And today our conversation is going to be very, very candid once we will come to the certain evaluation and forms. uh, इसी तरह अगर आप ACCA की फ्यूचर रेडी टैलेंट और पावर ऑफ फ्यूचर रेडी टैलेंट क्या ACCA की ग्लोबल साइट पे ये प्रोफेशनल इनसाइट सर्च करेंगे तो वो आपको तमाम रिसोर्सेज प्रोवाइड कर रहा होगा जो एज एश्योरेंस एडवोकेट, बिजनेस ट्रांसफॉर्मर, डाटा नेविगेटर, डिजिटल प्ले मेकर या सस्टेनेबिलिटी ट्रेल ब्लेजर के लिए आपको चाहिए। हाउ वो क्या है, हाउ दे उनके पर्सोनास क्या हैं, और आपको उसके लिए क्या कॉम्पिटेंसीज चाहिए होती हैं, एंड हाउ कंसिस्टेंटली यू कैन ड्रॉ ऑन दैट। लेट्स लुक एट द somebody who's working as an assurance advocate, right? So it's a stewardship role, sustainable organization for future areas like auditing, risk management, compliance, risk analytics as well, which help really to maintain the trust and integrity to the organization operations and their reputation and the brand. And if you look on the right side, there is a circle which is talking about those 12 competencies जिससे हमने start किया था. And the competencies which are on a dark red are the one which as a persona of assurance advocate will be drawing on a daily basis. That's mean आप इस इन competencies को बहुत frequently use कर रहे होंगे. The ethics and professionalism is a base for everything, right? So it's a base for everything, and you can't avoid that one. So आपका ethical lens और आपका professional behavior cannot be compromised. So वो हर जगह पे central place होगी उसकी. लेकिन जो आपके पास dark red में नजर आ रहे हैं, as an assurance advocate, these are the competency you demonstrate on an everyday basis, where depending on your role, you go a little bit above, और जो light red shades आपको नजर आ रहे हैं, वो competencies भी आप draw कर रहे होंगे, may not be on a daily basis, but frequently. But the one in white, you may not be using those competencies frequently, right? Let me take you back to the competency framework again. There are 12 competency which everybody has developed if they have become a member. They might not have realized, or if you have developed it or you came out of that exam cycle before 2012, तो आपके पास शायद different name के साथ वो होंगी. लेकिन अगर आप competency को देखेंगे तो ये 12 competency one way or other everybody has developed that. It's just the matter of deployment. And the combination of those competency changes the career zone, except ethics and professionalism, which will always remain at a central place. If you look at the business transformer, if any organization is looking for a change and driving the strategies of the organization, and looking even we are looking at the advisory or a business transformation, or we are talking about a small accounting firm. So business transformers are the personas which drive change, which help develop visions, right? And if you look at on the circle, you will see advisory and consultancy, data and digital technology, strategy and innovation, leadership and management, stakeholder and relationship management, and financial management, which is practically investment management, and then governance, risk and control, and management accounting. So you are using more competencies here as compared to audit and assurance side. Now let's look at the data navigators. So these are the guys who help people to really make a data-driven decision and really provide the extrapolation of the current data set, and see that if the variables are working historically or currently the variables are sitting at one place, what does it mean for future of the organization or future of that business unit? And you can again see that there's a combination of the competencies you are drawing on everyday basis. Let's come to the digital playmaker. So there is a different combination of the competencies. It's the same 12 competencies, but realigned or structured in a different way. and that can help you to really act as a digital playmaker. So these are the technology evangelists, technology adoption, and data governance. They are working on an emerging digital tool. So if you are working in a supply chain, you must be looking at how the blockchain and the digital currencies are going to help to have a competitive advantage over your competition. And you, as a professional accountant, can become that person who lead the organization to that roadmap. Let's look at the sustainability trailblazer. These are the guys who are working at a C-suite or the guys who are working at a board level. And these are the competencies which they are drawing on an everyday basis. And you can see most of the stuff is red. So this is a very well-rounded finance professional who is managing, leading the organization, leading others as well, working cross-functionally, may not be drawing on a taxation as a one of a specific skill, but I think all the rest of the 12 competencies, if put together, they are deploying 11 competencies or 10 specifically, and the 11th one on a less frequently, but they are deploying 12 competencies or 11 competencies on an everyday basis. And if you look at the entire cycle, I just put that everything side by side so you can see how the competency works. Any questions so far? Question. I think we will take a break between 6:35 to 7:55. I think that's the time we are seeing at different time zones for Maghreb. The colors are used like when you look at the solid red, that's mean these are the competencies you are using more frequently. When it's a light red, that's mean you are still using that competency less frequently. And the black one is the center. Ethics and professionalism remain the same. And the white one means that you seldomly use that competency in your everyday life. ESG is the one of a consideration, depend where you are, but definitely if you look at the sustainability or a sustainable organization, so ESG factors can be included anywhere, even at the assurance advocate or sustainability trailblazer, it's a must. But if you are working in assurance or working as an assurance advocate, that could be a one area where you are going for the audit of the ESGs, and as a sustainability trailblazer, you are the one who is leading the implementation of the ESG. Taxation, there's a question, why is taxation not a core of any? Taxation is a very specialized area. The people who are working in a taxation, they are considered as a specialist. So जहाँ पे taxation में आप काम कर रहे होंगे, unless until you attain a certain level of as a specialization, uh, that will not create a career zone. So that has to be a very specific niche where you should be working. And but if you look at the assurance advocate do call on the taxation competencies here and there because you are working on the assurance, and taxation is a matter of compliance. But in most of the cases, unless until you are working in assurance as an assurance advocate, which could be audit, which could be compliance, which could be taxation, most of the time taxation is not the primary competency you are drawing on an everyday basis. Taxation experts comes under the assurance advocates because it's a matter of compliance. And somebody who's working on a sustainability trailblazer, they will be using a taxation expert and not one expert because it's a matter of opinion. They will be using 3 or 4 consultants to really incorporate the taxation consideration in their strategy. And this framework, Abdul Wahid Sheikh, definitely this framework can help us to really evaluate how we are performing. And number one, first, help us to categorize based on these five career zone where you fall. And then if you want to change your career zone, let's say somebody sitting in an assurance advocate really want to become a digital playmaker, then what does it mean for them? So how that journey should work. Interesting point, Mohammed Ahmed Aziz. Is taxation not focused on because ACCA is a global body and the taxation is a regional subject? No, that's not the case, because still you go through the UK taxation, and in Russia you go through Russian one. In Pakistan you have a early stage option to go for Pakistan taxation. It's still part of the, let me take the screen a little aside, I think. If you look at the assurance advocate, you will see taxation as a part of this career zone. But taxation is not something you do on an everyday basis. Taxation is a less frequent competencies, or a competency which you don't draw on an everyday basis. या तो आपका quarterly compliance होगा, 15 days का compliance होगा, monthly compliance होगा, but you don't have that taxation as a part of your everyday things you are doing it. Definitely, if you are acting as an assurance advocate, then the tech compliances, like when you are processing an invoice, and you have to make sure that people who are processing those invoices understand the segregation of VAT or sales tax and the cost. So the recording mechanism works. So you have to do it once. You don't have to do it every time. So assurance advocate is a one of an area where taxation is being used as a one of a competency. But if you look at everywhere else, that's not the primary competency which is used frequently or less frequently. You always rely on your taxation consultant, which again fall under the assurance advocate. Can we categorize these areas in terms of the most? That's an interesting one. So you have to see which competencies are valued the most. If you somebody has to put money, so where they will put maximum money, and that's a question for you people, and you have to tell me from the market that where you feel people are putting a maximum monetary value once it comes to these 12 competencies if we club it together. Vyas asking how you see the future of accountants and accountant industry in a 5 year. Uh, it's not about the road 5 years. 5 years back, I used to say you will not see a CFO anymore. You will be seeing the chief data officer or chief data analyst. That's something which I'm advocating for last 5 years, that you have to start developing the competencies, understanding the information, creating the insight, and guiding the organization in terms of the decision making. So it's more, the role is to make sure that you can help organization to make strategic decisions. And if you look at the ACCA qualification, the terminology which you will see there, and the way now the trainings and everything has been designed, so it's talking about the strategic business leader, it's talking about the business technology as a part of the subject. The exams are now, people have to sit on the computer and use Excel and the Word, and now going forward PowerPoint to to complete their exam. So they are forced to learn those technologies which are just like 10 20 years back. It's like a calculator you have to use on an everyday basis. So those are the technologies now we have to use, even if we are doing the exam side of it. I'm in a digit ERP and financial, should I go for CTO or CFO? Do understand the ERP is a dying technology the way it is, like जो आपकी जो हिस्टोरिकल कॉन्सेप्ट है कि आपके पास इंस्टेंस जो आपकी अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इंस्टॉल होता है, आप उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं और फिर उसको मेंटेन करते हैं, फिर उसको मॉडिफाई करते रहते हैं, और आप उसमें से इफ यू आर वर्किंग ऑन एसएपी, आप बिजनेस इंटेलिजेंस बीआई की बात कर रहे होंगे, सो Oracle की implementation, these are the dying technologies now. Everything is moved on cloud, so you don't need people who will be working on a ERP implementation. You need more people who are working on understanding the flow of information and then extracting that information and trying to create insight. The data right now, the availability of data is huge. You can use AWS or Google APIs, and you can extract a lot of structured, unstructured data. You can capture your financial transactions using sensors. You don't need even people to enter that information. You have OCRs. You have got a direct integration and APIs with the vendors and the customers. So the flow of information is different. Blockchain is altogether a revolutionary technology which will be keep recording the contracts and the financial information in form of the smart contracts. So the ERP, the way, if we are referring it to the same historical SAP and Oracle implementation of like financial modules and the supply chain modules and the procurement modules, I think those, if you ask me, even as today, if you talk to the ERP guys, the people who are enlightened enough, they will say ERP is already dead. It's just the people who have implemented it, they're going to take another 5 to 10 years to get rid of it. So we will take a break now for prayers. So we will be back by 6:55. Welcome back. Uh, I hope most of the people are back now. I can see a couple of people have raised hands, so let me first go to them before we move on. Masood Faz, मैं आपको unmute कर रहा हूँ. You can unmute yourself and okay, so great. So no hands. Let's go back and see what questions we have before we move on. Can we change the profession from accountancy to business development manager? Uh, Keep in mind, IT is again, uh, IT itself, from a developer perspective, from a coding perspective, is, I will use the word obsolete, but it's no more as attractive as it used to be, right? So the company is forcing to do so, but what does it mean, business development manager, IT? Is it the working as a IT professional or working as a business development, like the sales professional? By the way, accountants are doing great who have opted for a business development field. It's a lovely profession, I would say, Zishan. And being an accountant, when you look at that one, being an accountant, the way you can handle and serve the customer, and particularly if you are selling IT products, so I think you can do better because you can have a better relationship with CFOs and the CTOs who have to make decisions. And most of the time, IT decisions are dependent on the financial return or ROI based. So most of the finance guys are doing great in the business development field. And then the revenue or compensation in sales profession is also great. So you will see a lot of CEOs. Just to give you another example, if you go 5-10 years back, most of the time for the large organizations, CEOs are coming from the technical side or engineering side, and the second most sought after qualification was marketing. But for the last 10 years, it's not marketing, it's finance. Just because uh, the financial decisions are becoming very important, the compliances are becoming very important. So whatever the subject matter expertise or the industry you are working in, finance is becoming one of a key sought after competency to really understand the financial decision or the complexity of the finance and compliances. And if somebody miss out on that, it costs organization a lot. So the role of finance, and particularly like when we talk about the strategic business leader side of it, the finance information or competency is one of the most sought after competency, along with the 5 essential competencies which I talked about earlier, regardless whatever profession you are in. Right. So now I'll invite you to a one question, and then we will go for a one poll. So the question is for you: are you thinking ahead? where you are right now, और अभी हम next sessions में goal settings की भी बातें कर रहे होंगे, लेकिन इस वक्त जो मोड हमें चाहिए, जिस जगह आप बैठे हुए हैं, because you are making an effort, you're going to spend another 40 hours with us. So in 40 घंटों में you have to literally demonstrate where you are and where you want to go. Are you thinking ahead? Are you looking around what's changing in the world? And are you still relevant, or would you be relevant in a 5-10 years time from now? अपनी organization के लिए, अपनी society के लिए, अपने profession के लिए, and what you are doing about it. But so this is the one question you have to keep in mind. And what we will do right now, I invite you to go to Slido. Slido, you can type in the, if you are using mobile or you're using laptop, you can just type sli.do or www.sli.do or www.slido.com. And it will ask you for an event code. Just put ACCAST. Right? So I invite everybody to literally go on Slido, and it will give you a question which career zone you are in as we speak today, which career zone you are in. So there are only 2 people who have replied yet. The earlier 2 were the test mode. So we have got 80 people on, close to 80 people right now. So we would like to see more and more people going and at least selecting which career zones they are in at the moment. So we got 15 so far. Keep coming, keep coming. 26 people so far. It's not that which career zone you want to be in, which career zone you are in right now. 30 people, 31. Keep coming, guys, keep coming. 34, 35, at least 35 more before we move on. 'So these are the career zones and these are the competencies you will be demonstrating on an everyday basis if you are in that career zone. 'There's still a lot to go. 41 on my count. 43. 44. Guys, we had 90 people. Hurry up. Just for the people who might have joined late, so we are on Slido right now, and there's an event code ACCASD. So you can log in or you can sign in using www.sli.do. It will ask for event code का पूछेगा, आपने वहाँ पे ACCASD लिखना है और वहाँ पे आपसे एक सवाल किया जा रहा है which career zone you are in. That's been today while you are working. So which career zone you are in और उस पे आपने select करना है अपना career zone. Out of 90 people so far, 44 people have replied. So guys, we have to get at least 70 responses before we can move on. 45, please, please. Keep coming, keep coming. 47, 51, 52, 54. At least 16 more people before we move on. Ideally, we should go up to 90, but at least 16, 15 more, 55. Umar, I'm going back to the slide again. Code is ACCA ACCA is the code. You can change that as well. You can edit response if you feel that you want to change it. Sixty people. Ali, Ali Tariq, you ask if someone works for more than one career zone. So you will look at the competencies you are drawing on an everyday basis. I think that will help you to really categorize yourself. But you have to, you can select only one primary career zone at the moment. 60 guys, we need more. We are 90 people. Be expressive. There's no right and wrong answer. 62. There are 30 people who are not expressive enough. They don't want to share. Please, please, please. 64. We need at least 6 more people before we move on. We are now 91 people and we are struggling. Guys, please. अगर आपको मसला हो रहा है मैं दोबारा से आपको दिखा देता हूं कि स्लाइडों पे कैसे जाना है. So you go on the website, put the code ACCA SD, ACCA 7 digit, ACCA SD. $64, 6 more people and we move on. Guys, 6 volunteer to share out of 91. Okay, 4 more and we are done. 4 more people. Three more to go. Three more, 3 volunteers, and you can take everybody forward from here. We are at 67. Just three people. If we hit the benchmark, we will move on. Three more people. Please log into Slido and use event code ACCAST before we move on. Three more people, guys. Three people who haven't entered their uh, preference or their career zone, please. Sad, I'll come to the recording. I think Harun can guide us where to download that one. So at the end, I'll hand over to Harun to guide us on a recording side. But I need three people, three volunteer. Two. We are just left with two. Guys, two people. We need two people to act and they can take the everybody forward from this one. We need two more people. We are not moving ahead unless until we hit 70. So people who are not entering there and not putting their career zone are holding everybody back right now. That's the beauty of community. Either you move ahead together or you stay back together. 69. One more and we are done. One more and we are done. Please, anyone who is still holding back, please log in and enter your career zone. One more and we are good to go. Great. We hit 70. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Aslan Sheikh, we are not going to announce any reward. Reward is always uh, your learning in this case. So you can well imagine how difficult it is to mobilize people to just do a small thing, right? And we are not talking about any complication. We are just talking about going on Slido, selecting a event code, and just tell us which career zone you believe you are in. It's very, very difficult. And that's a fundamental uh, block when we are talking about learning. It's a self-initiative. It's a sense of community. You can well imagine we spend 15 minutes in doing something which we could have done in 5 minutes. If we really care about that, there's a certain target and we have to achieve it together. Career zones and personality, there's no alignment right now we are talking about. We are at a very early stage where we are talking about which career zone you are in based on the information you have right now. There's another poll which I would like Haroon to open up, and that will be talking about. I'm sure everybody can see the result on the screen, on their own screen. So we have got 37% business transformer. We got assurance advocate 34%, data navigator 17%, 9% sustainability trailblazer, and 3% digital playmaker. We got another person who just entered their career zone. It's 71 now. Great. These competency does not hold designations. These competency lead to a certain role, and that role could be like CEO in a developed world is no more chief executive officer, it's a chief empowerment officer. So the designation is not a relevance here, it's the competencies and the usage of those competencies on an everyday basis. So you will find a lot of board members there who may not be able to reflect those competencies, or CEO or CFO who are unable to reflect on those competencies. So I can see a couple of people have raised hand before we move to Irfan Zahid Chuktai. So I am unmuting you. You can unmute yourself and we can hear you. Irfan Zahid Chuktai, you have
Actually, I am unable to see slides you are presenting. Only slide with email address and website address is visible. Thank you.
No, that's the slide I'm showing right now.
Okay.
Thanks. Harun, are we ready with the poll? Can we run a competency side of it?
Yes, Sujit, we are ready. It's a scale of 1 to 5. So you have to rate yourself on each competency on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. 5 would mean you're an expert on the competency, and 1 would mean. Sorry?
How we trigger the poll, how we can run it?
I'm just about to do that. I just thought I'll let them know first, and the poll appears on your screen now. So as people start voting, we'll start seeing the results. So this one is about ethics and professionalism. Remember, 1 being the lowest, which means you are not at all an expert, in this particular competency, and 5 would mean that you are the best. You hold it very high. I can see some people who have marked themselves as 1. Remember, this is ethics and professionalism. So we will be giving about a minute to each question, which would mean 12 questions would mean 12 minutes. So let's do it like clockwork. 66% have voted already. And last 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this poll is off. I'm going to share the results very quickly. I hope all of you can see the results. Sadiq, can you see the results as well?
Yeah, we can. We can.
Okay. Would you want to talk about this now or later?
Yeah, we will pick up later.
Okay. Let's now go on to the second poll. And the second one is about governance, risk, and controls. Please rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Once again, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. So 1 minute for this as well. Great, we are already 60% done.
Let's keep 70 as one of our targets.
Yeah, 70 done, Steve, already. People still responding, so I'll give them 30 more seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, be very honest. That will help you to understand where you are. आपको
Yeah.
पता ना, जनरली हम अपने लिए वकील और दूसरे के लिए जज होते हैं. तो जस्ट मेक श्योर यहाँ पे आपने अपने लिए जजमेंट यूज करनी है, एक ऑनेस्ट जजमेंट के हाउ यू रेट योरसेल्फ देयर.
Okay, we've got the time up, so I'm sharing the results with you. It seems that majority of the people are keeping a cushion for improvement. So fours are coming out as the highest, so which means people are keeping some margin for improvement. Yeah. So let's move on. Let's make it quick. The third one is about stakeholder relationship management. And this one is extremely important as well. Stakeholder relationship management.
And stakeholder include your peers, your supervisor, your vendor, your customer, your regulators.
Yeah, your stakeholders.
All stakeholders. Yeah. So it's not only the people you are working with, it's also for the people you need to serve, like your end customer. If you are in a retail business and you are in finance, your biggest stakeholder is the person who is on the floor and looking around the shelf to buy stuff.
Okay, we have got 67% answers already. 10 more seconds. Okay, 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, this is the fourth competency, and this time it is leadership management. Comes up on your screen now. Leadership management. I think there is a trend emerging already. Most of the people are ranking themselves at 4. I don't want to influence your choice, but that's what the trend is like.
And Harun, we can have a collective response as well. Like, can we generate a report for all the?
Sajid, we can have a report for each of the factors separately right now, but later on we can consolidate afterwards. Once the session is over, we'll have to download the results. Okay, so closing, very quickly sharing the results with you. So once again, you can see most of the people are ranking themselves at number 4. All right, next, strategy, innovation. Strategy and innovation, once again, extremely important in this day and age. Okay, I see the tables turning now. This time, people are ranking themselves mostly at number 3. Wow, okay. We've already got 72% responses. Just 10 more seconds and we'll move on. 3, 2, and 1. Close. Oh, a little different this time. Okay, Sajid, I'm sure you'll want to discuss this shift. So strategy and innovation. Interesting. Next is Data, digital, and technology. I am sure all of you would love this.
Yeah, and
Data, digital.
it's beyond Excel and PowerPoints
Exactly.
we are talking.
Sajid, even ERPs, as you normally say, even
Yeah,
ERPs are becoming obsolete. Okay. Wow. Clear shift, Sajid. You can notice this, I think. Tendency shifting towards the middle zone.
guys, that will
Okay.
help us to really run refresher on the areas where most of the people need more support. So that would be helpful for us as well.
Okay. 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. Sharing the results with you on the screen. Again, I think almost a perfect curve. Almost perfect. Well, okay. Let's move on. This time we have audit and assurance. And I know all accountants love this one. Okay, we already have 70%, so let's save time, giving you 10 more seconds only. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Okay, again, going back to 4. The next one is advisory and consultancy, an
Yeah, it's
emerging
more
domain.
related with it's a merger, acquisition, technology transformation, digital transformations, strategy formations. Strategy to access new markets.
Sujit, I can see some
ESG.
people are being very honest. I mean, there are about 7 people who are rating themselves as 1, being the lowest. Good or bad sign?
Yeah, and I think honesty will work here. It will, because we will be using this to really evaluate which area we should be working more and which career
True.
zone people have more tendency or aspiration to get into. अभी हम एक और discussion इसके बाद कर रहे होंगे कि आपके ख्याल में किस career zone में सबसे ज्यादा monetary value exist करती है.
Exactly. And traditionally, the answer would be audit and assurance, but you might be surprised. All right, seen the results. Let's go on. The next one is corporate business reporting. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's practically for the financial reporting, statutory reporting, external reporting. So that's the area which we are looking at here, where
Yeah.
you really report business performance to external stakeholders.
We're doing the 9th competency here, the 3 more left. Okay, we have about 75% responses. 5 more seconds for you. 3, 2, and 1. So here are the results. Okay, a little skewed towards expertise. And the next one is financial management. Music to ears once again.
Yeah, that's specifically designed for like portfolio management, investment decisions, option analysis, feasibilities, stock market, bond pricing. I think at some point of time, ACCA will be considering changing the name from a financial management to investment management. It's an early stage CFA course in.
Okay, 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. So here we go. In almost a perfect curve. Excellent. And now we have second last one, which is management accounting.
Yeah, it has to do more with the performance management. So how internally you are defining and monitoring the KPIs. So that's basically ears and eyes for the organization, that how they are performing on a day-to-day basis and which area they should be focusing more. So that helps you to generate alarms. If somebody is working on IoTs, Internet of the Things, this performance management capability is a very handy capability to really evaluate that what are the functions, like everything, performance management, everything is a function of something. So you will be able to really simplify your digital twin, which you are trying to create in IoT using performance management as a core competency.
Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Great, thank you. Sharing the results with you. Okay, a little skewed towards experts. And the last one is taxation. And this is what we just talked about a little while ago.
And taxation horizon include from a compliances to taxation strategy to cross-border one, even in evaluating the risk around the change in the taxation policies. So thinking ahead and looking at the taxation structures, even creating the entities which are more tax efficient.
Sajid, this is the topsy-turvy. It's upside down this time. Okay, 5 more seconds, please. 3, 2, and 1. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Inverted. All right, Sajid, we're done. Over to you.
Thank you. Guys, thank you for everyone who has contributed. Before moving to the show the results. Okay, that's all. Just going to the interesting one, the one thing which I really surprised to see. If you look at or if you look if we see this feedback from the market once they look at the ACCA, that which area are the strength. Most of the people or most of the employer or client comes back and talk about the technical skills are very, very good, where on a journal or social skills, which like a stakeholder management, communication, presenting a business case, these are the areas which are not considered to be very strong areas for accountants in journal. And the same goes for ACCA, even member, senior member. But if I look at the first essential competencies, we see a very high rating on those. Most of the people have rated themselves at 4. Significant number of people have rated themselves at 4 in terms of the stakeholder management, in terms of governance, risk and control, and people have rated them on a lower side, and even on a leadership and management. I think that the rating is most of the time it's close to 4 for most of the people. I think we have to go back and be more like honest with ourselves. Do we understand the terms and the warning signs and the success signs of these particular competencies? What I'll invite you to do is look at the ACCA framework and performance objective as two documents I would like you to look at and see when they feel what are the warning signs and what are the signs that you have developed that competency. So be honest with yourself, rate yourself, benchmark yourself. Let us know what are the ideals you are following and the role models you are looking at on a certain competency. हम भी आपसे कुछ share कर रहे होंगे. But this exercise should give you at least it gave us a baseline कि हम कहाँ खड़े हैं और हमने आगे कहाँ जाना है for this specific group. Groups change होते हैं तो उसके साथ उनके dynamics भी change हो जाते हैं. Stakeholder management is not subjective, by the way. Stakeholder management is clearly determined using the NPS, the Net Promoter Score. How many people talk positively about you? And whenever you interact, you create an experience which people love. What would replace ERP? Major reason for this is near future. It's a cloud. ERP, historical ERP is basically an instance which you install at the organization level. There's a lot of hardware, a lot of maintenance involved, and it's a very expensive proposition. So it's being replaced with the ERP in cloud, and that does not require such a complicated implementation. Yeah, screen is off right now. I hope you can see the question tab. Okay, let me see. The question tab should be, it should be visible. Harun, can you see the question tab on the screen?
No, Sujit. No, not right now. Nothing is being shared.
Okay,
You look at your sharing.
Can you see now?
Yes, now it's up.
Okay, great. Great, sorry about that. I think I switched off the screen and it switched off the question bank as well. Anyone who want to share something around career zone and competencies, you can raise your hand. I would like to invite somebody. Anybody who has a different opinion? Ahmed is of the view that the development is still needed. When you go to the cloud or open source tools, then you are not the one who develop it, you just deploy it. So there's a significant shift how we used to use ERP versus how it's being used now. So for example, any organization can pick up B1 in SAP and they are good to go. They don't need a complete team for implementation. In 2 to 3 months, it will be implemented and organization is good to go. Jahanzeb Bhatti, these functional consultant role will sit with the ERP provider. So you will have a software as a service. So businesses will not be hiring the functional consultants. It would be a job of the product provider. So the role will shift. So they will be shifting the risk of implementation to the product provider and not to the client, because it's not the core role of business to learn and have the functional consultant to do the ERP implementation. It's a role of a product provider, and they are working more on a risk sharing and subscription model, and they keep all the functional consultant with them. Hamid, you are talking about the competency required by entrepreneur. Anybody who want to answer that question? Abdul Wahid, you can download that report, which is the Future Ready Talent, and it gives you a lot of insights around how we should be looking at the benchmark. Hamid Khan has a question around the competency required by an entrepreneur. Anybody who want to answer, please raise your hand. Mohammed Farooq, I have unmuted you. You can unmute yourself and you can share.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Yep.
Okay. Sir, जैसा कि हामिद खान का क्वेश्चन था competencies,
and
अगर मैं
three
इस चीज को
competencies specifically he want to see or understand.
एग्जैक्टली सर आई वुड लाइक के इसके अंदर जो हमारा ये करंट सिस्टम चल रहा है, जो हमारा ये करंट दौर चल रहा है, इसके अंदर अगर हम इस चीज को देख के चलें तो जो सबसे पहले है वो हमारी जिस भी बिजनेस में आप जाएं उसकी आपको टेक्निकल नॉलेज लाजमी होनी चाहिए। अदरवाइज जो आपका वर्कर स्टाफ है या जो भी है आपके नीचे लोग काम कर रहे हैं, इफ दे आर well equipped with their technical skills, they will obviously damage you. Secondly, you should have passion. अगर आपके पास पैशन है आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। you have if you have passion, you have a thirst for learning new skills, for learning new competencies, which can be either soft skills or hard skills, everything. But if you ask me to rate, I will rate passion the most needed competency, or you can say the passion the most needed soft skill, being कि आप कुछ भी करें, किसी भी बिजनेस में जाएं। फर्दर जिस तरह मैं आपको अगर अपना बताऊं तो मेरा जो है कंसर्न बीइंग अ जनरल मैनेजर मोस्टली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंसर्न से है। तो आप ये देख लें कि बीइंग अ फाइनेंस गाय एंड अकाउंट्स गाय, आई एम आल्सो मैनेजिंग प्रोडक्शन, आई एम आल्सो मैनेजिंग अदर एरियाज, so everything is possible if you have a passion towards that and you have a mind कि yes I can do this. To do approach is the most important thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Farooq. Hafiz Suleiman.
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum salam.
अच्छा, एज यू नो कि मैंने जॉब से अपने आप को बिजनेस में शिफ्ट किया, तो आई नीड टू फेस वेरी मच थिंग्स लाइक, फरूक ने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा कि आपको टेक्निकल स्किल्स आने चाहिए, लेकिन सिर्फ टेक्निकल स्किल्स जो हैं वो जरूरी नहीं होते। उसके साथ आपको ये भी देखना है कि आपके अंदर इनोवेशन कितनी है, क्योंकि ये डिजिटल दौर चल रहा है और इसके अंदर जितनी आप अपनी प्रोडक्ट में, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आप प्रोडक्ट सेल कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें आप इनोवेटिव कितने हैं, आप नई चीजों को इंट्रोड्यूस कैसे करते हैं। उसके अलावा एंटरप्रेन्योर में जो मेन चीज होनी चाहिए वो रिस्क सीकिंग है, क्योंकि अगर आप रिस्क नहीं ले सकते तो आप आगे नहीं जा सकते। फिर आपको कंप्लाइंस जो सी आपके ऊपर लागू हैं, जो लॉज एंड रेगुलेशंस की कंप्लाइंस है, वो आपको खुद बहुत अच्छे से पता होनी चाहिए कि ये करनी है, बिकॉज आम इन ज्वेलरी सेक्टर, और आपको सबको गालिबन पता ही होगा जो एएमएल लॉज नए आए हैं, और इसके अलावा टैक्सेशन के बारे में, और बड़ी एक लाइमलाइट में ये जो सेक्टर है वो चला गया। इसके बाद सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट किसी भी बिजनेस में ये है कि आप अपनी नेटवर्किंग कैसे करते हैं, बिकॉज एवरीवन नो कि नेटवर्क इज योर नेटवर्थ। तो अगर आपका नेटवर्क नहीं है तो आप अपनी क्लाइंटल कहाँ से बनाएंगे, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान के अंदर ऑनलाइन सेल्स जो मतलब पिछले साल से एक ट्रेंड चला है, लेकिन उसमें प्रोडक्ट क्वालिटी जब कस्टमर को रिसीव होती है तो उसको उतना एतमाद नहीं रहा ऑनलाइन पे जितना पहले वो सोच रहा था कि ये यूज होगा। तो आपका जो नेटवर्क है बेसिकली वही आपको आगे लेके जाता है मेरे ख्याल में। थैंक यू सजीद।
Thank you, Salman. Altaf Khan.
हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। अल्ताफ जमाल खान बात कर रहा हूँ। एक्चुअली जितनी चीज़ें अभी सजीद ने डिस्कस की हैं और जो हमारे रिस्पेक्टिव मेंबर्स ने डिस्कस की हैं, और ख़ास तौर पे ये अगर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात करें तो इसमें मेन चीज़ जो आजकल इम्पोर्टेंट है, जिसको देखने की ज़रूरत है, वो ये कि आजकल लोगों की जो ज़रूरत है, उस जो नीड है, नीड को आप बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट कर दें, देन यू विल बी अ सक्सेसफुल बिजनेसमैन। अच्छा, रेस्ट द टेक्निकल स्किल्स और नॉलेज, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट इसके साथ साथ जो है ना वो एंथुजियाज्म और डिटर्मिनेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो वो नॉलेज, मार्केट की, बिजनेस की नॉलेज आजकल है ये कि जो नेचुरली अकाउंटेंट्स जो हैं वो जनरली क्लोज माइंडेड होते हैं, और जो हमारे जनरली जो आगे नहीं बढ़ पाते, उसकी वजह ये होती है कि बिजनेस की नॉलेज होना वो बहुत ज़रूरी है। आप किस बिजनेस सेक्टर में काम कर रहे हैं और उसकी नीड्स क्या हैं, एंड देन आपको उसी हिसाब से ट्रांसफॉर्म करना होता है अपने आप को कि, और जैसे जैसे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स में और डिफरेंट, ज़रूरी नहीं है कि किसी एक बिजनेस में ही काम करना है। जैसे अभी ऑनलाइन बिजनेस की बात की गई, बिल्कुल ऐसा है कि लास्ट ईयर खासतौर पे ये बड़ी चीज़ हाईलाइट हुई कि लोग काफ़ी शिफ्ट हुए ऑनलाइन बिजनेस में, बट जो क्वालिटी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। पाकिस्तान से बाहर जो है ना, इन चीज़ों का बहुत ख्याल रखा जाता है। यही वजह है कि आज भी हमारे यहाँ ऑनलाइन बिजनेस पे लोग ट्रस्ट नहीं करते। हमारे यहाँ चीज़ें डेवलप हुई हैं, काम किया गया है, लोग उस पे साइट पे देख रहे हैं। हमें फोकस करना चाहिए कि जो नए बिजनेस सेक्टर्स हैं या बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, जिसमें मैं अगर नाम लूं, जो रिसेंटली जिन्होंने बहुत जबरदस्त फिनोमिनल ग्रोथ ली है इन लास्ट 10 इयर्स में, तो उन एज ए बिजनेस मॉडल उनको हमें देखते हुए आगे चलना चाहिए। इसमें हमारे पास जो लाइफ एग्जांपल्स हैं, वो जैसे लकी ग्रुप है, हम उनकी बात करें, या हम जो है पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त अगर कार मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को देखें या हम फार्मास्यूटिकल साइड पे चले जाएं, एक दौर में अगर फार्मा में जो जितनी भी मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज थी, उनका बड़ा रोल था। अब नाउ जो लीडिंग रोल है वो लोकल फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनी में, जिसमें गैट्स इस वक्त बहुत बड़ा काम कर रहे हैं। उन्होंने बहुत बड़ा प्लांट यहाँ लगाया है और वो नई प्रोडक्ट्स को, नई जो चीज़ों को, इवन इनकी रजिस्ट्रेशन भी शुरू, उन्होंने प्रोडक्ट रजिस्ट्रेशन भी, इंटरनेशनल पेटेंट भी अब वो अपना रजिस्टर्ड करवा रहे हैं, और एक पेटेंट रिसेंटली उन्होंने रजिस्टर्ड कराया। तो इसमें जो विजन है, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि वे यू वांट टू बी इन नेक्स्ट 5 or 10 years, or one should have a short term and long term plans with them, और उस प्लान के बेसिस पे जो है ना वो काम करना चाहिए। और जो आजकल की है जो सूरत हाल, वो ये है कि जो नीड है उसको बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट कर दें, तो यू विल बी अ सक्सेसफुल बिजनेसमैन। जो अगर आप देखें, हमारे पास रिसेंट ACCA ने भी कुछ लोगों को इंट्रोड्यूस कराया था, कुछ एग्जांपल्स मौजूद हैं जिसमें घर होम मैन्युफैक्चर्ड शू भी लोग बना रहे हैं, शूज को डिजाइन करके दे रहे हैं, इवन फर्नीचर, ओल्ड फर्नीचर, एंटीक फर्नीचर्स पे काम कर रहे हैं। फिर ये जो आप इसकी बात करें खासतौर पर फूड इंडस्ट्री की, वो बड़ी सर्विस इंडस्ट्रीज में हमारी काफी डेवलपमेंट्स हुई हैं। तो कोई भी जो है वो वन शुड हैव टू बिलीव व्हाट ही वांट टू डू। हमारे सामने KFC, जो बड़े बड़े अगर एंटरप्राइजेस देखें, जो आज 100 साल से 50 साल से जो है ना वो एक बड़े जाइंट बिजनेस बन गए हैं आज, तो वो इस वजह से बन गए कि उसके पीछे एक विजन था और वो उस विजन के हिसाब से काम करे। तो वन शुड हैव अ विजन और उस पे काम करेंगे तो शॉर्ट टर्म और लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान्स के साथ कामयाबी बिल्कुल मिलेगी। और उसके लिए रोल मॉडल, जैसे अभी सजीत ने जिक्र किया था कि वंश आपके पास कोई रोल मॉडल होना चाहिए और उसको आप फॉलो कर रहे हो, तो वो आइडियल्स जो हैं लेके और उस पे अपना टाइमलाइन को डिटरमिन करते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। तो ये दैट्स एक्चुअली व्हाट आई वांट टू कंट्रीब्यूट ओवर हियर। थैंक यू।
You are muted, I think.
Yes, hello. मेरी आवाज आ रही है सबको? Hello.
We can hear you. Sajid, आपका mute हुआ है mic.
हाँ. Yes, thank you. तो I would like to add here कि हम लोग यहाँ पे जो entrepreneurs के लिए basic model discuss कर रहे थे, उसमें different factors अगर हम देखें सामने आए, कुछ लोगों ने कहा leadership की जरूरत है, कुछ लोगों ने कहा innovation चाहिए, कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि आपका risk appetite होना चाहिए, और कुछ लोगों ने ये भी add on किया कि आपका ये भी matter करता है कि आप अपने business को grow कैसे करना चाह रहे हैं, आगे future कैसे देखते हैं। तो I think अगर हम इन सारी factors को sum up करें तो I think underpin इसको एक चीज कर सकती है, that is emotional intelligence. आई थिंक कॉम्पिटेंसी फ्रेमवर्क में एक चीज इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस भी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस को एज कॉम्पिटेंस हम लोग अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं तो आपका माइंडसेट अगर एक दफा चेंज हो जाए तो आई गेस ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, ये सारे फैक्टर्स जो हैं, ऑटोमेटिकली एंटरप्रेन्योर जो है वो आप अपने अंदर डेवलप करने के काबिल हो जाता है. तो आई थिंक इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस ज्यादा है मेनली एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए.
Tamina, it's covered under the stakeholder relationship management. उसके लिए emotional quotient की अहमियत हमेशा बहुत ज्यादा होती है. Umar, if you can share. Umar Tarer. Okay. Okay, so if you ask me, and I'll pick up from the competency framework. So for me, the first priority is strategy and innovation. So you can, Junaid, we will come later to you again. So strategy and innovation is the one which help you to really evaluate where the room is and what is the market size we are looking at. अगर आपको आपने recently जो हमने business model canvas share किया था उस पे value proposition और customer segment जो है, these are the elements which based on the strategy and innovation you can create that linkages कि आपका value proposition क्या है और किस customer segment को और size of the customer segment क्या है. तो strategy innovation is number one. Number two is the stakeholder relationship management. तमीना ने बिल्कुल सही कहा, unless until you really connect with your customer. और अब customer centricity का term नहीं हम use करते. I use the term customer obsession जब तक आपको नहीं होगा. That's your primary stakeholder you are going to serve. So stakeholder relationship management में within that stakeholder relationship management, customer obsession is the second one, which I would put there. The third, what I will put there is the governance, risk, and control competency, particularly governance around brand, something which you have committed. Sulman ने भी यही highlight किया कि online आपने एक चीज deliver की, but it's not the same which you actually committed to. So वहां पे आपकी brand का issue आ जाता है, आपकी integrity का issue आ जाता है. Similarly, governance, risk, and control में the risk seeker attitude rather than the risk averse attitude. So risk management में आपको अपने sentiments जो हैं वो risk seeking के side पे लेके जाने पड़ते हैं rather than simple risk averse की side पे. तो आपने अपना risk properly manage करना होता है. And again, control के perspective से जब आप governance, risk, and control की बात कर रहे हैं तो focus on the execution. आपकी sales कहाँ से आ रही है, customer serve कैसे हो रहा है. So उसका जो overall control environment है कि आपने जो commit किया था, जो आपने deliver करना था, you are okay to take risk, and then execution of the strategy which you have developed. So ये governance, risk, and control की competencies में आता है. Last, I add one more is the digital data and technology, because that is an enabling tool right now जो suddenly आपकी market access एक geographical region से उठा के global में convert कर देता है. So there is a possibilities कि आप वहाँ पे data sciences use कर रहे हो, आप AI deploy कर रहे हो, और आप AI या data sciences या even आपके technology IoT की भी आप बात करें तो ये इतना ज्यादा ओपन सोर्स में अवेलेबल है कि देयर इज नो कॉस्ट एसोसिएटेड टू दैट इफ इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ योर स्ट्रेटजी. कॉस्ट जो आपकी होगी उसको एग्रीगेट करने की जरूरत है. आपको इतने एपीआईज अब फ्री मिल जाते हैं या बड़ी नॉमिनल कॉस्ट पे मिल जाते हैं जहां पे पूरी कम्युनिटी चीजों को डेवलप कर रही होती है. तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ डिजिटल डाटा एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इज अ इंपॉर्टेंट वन. सो जस्ट टू bring it back, strategy and innovation which help you to identify the opportunity, stakeholder relationship management make customer obsession which keep the organization aligned with the obsession to serve customer, governance, risk, and control which help you to maintain the integrity, seek the risk, and ensure the execution of the strategy, digital data and technology which enable the scaling of the business. Right, so these four competencies, if you pick up and evolve it with a clear understanding or direction that you want to run a business, so I think that would be very helpful for anybody if they put that in that order. Junaid, you want to talk about something? Junaid, can you raise hand so I can Junaid, मैंने आपको unmute कर दिया.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर। सर मैं ये शेयर करना चाह रहा था कि कॉम्पिटेंसीज में अगर हम देखें कोर कॉम्पिटेंसीज में, तो जैसे 10x का जो कॉन्सेप्ट लेके आए थे यूई के अंदर भी शेख हमदान सर लेके आए थे, तो बाकी जो मेन प्लेयर्स हैं उनकी तरफ जो बेंचमार्क करके देखना चाहिए कि वो क्या चीज़ें, क्या प्रोएक्टिव अप्रोच यूज करके वो चीज़ें लेके आते हैं वो। तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत ज्यादा लर्निंग होगी, मतलब इस इन चीजों का, जैसे लाइक उबर है, लाइक फेसबुक है, तो द कंसेप्ट कि मैं उसमें ये था कंसेप्ट कि व्हाई वी आर नॉट डूइंग दैट, व्हाई वी आर नॉट सो प्रोएक्टिव के भाई हम क्यों नहीं परसीव कर सकते इन चीजों को बिफोर द अदर वन विल गेट दैट। थैंक यू सर।
जी जी, बिल्कुल 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 सही कह रहे हैं आप। सो या सो आई ऑलवेज गो विद वन रिकमेंडेशन। अगर कोई ऑलरेडी डिजिटल ट्विन एग्जिस्ट करता है जो आप अपने काम में डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं, यूज इट, सो इट विल फ्री अप योर टाइम टू डू समथिंग एल्स। और अगर डिजिटल ट्विन एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता तो क्रिएट वन, because that will give you the capital gain at some point of time, and that will be a very good business model. Just before we end, I want your view. किस competency को you feel the market, and the market include client and employers both, वो कौन सी competencies हैं जिस पे people can put or the market can put the maximum monetary value? One, your top 3 picks will work for us. Top 3 competencies among those 12. Let me share my screen so you can see the competencies again. So you can put that in a question window. Which competencies, not the career zone, which competencies you feel market is going to put the maximum monetary value? Based on your experience, most of you are a fellow member, you have experience with the market. So which competencies you feel market is going to put a maximum value? Top 3. I can bring the competency framework that may be more visible. Hamza, not the career zones, please, not the career zones. The competencies out of the 12 competencies. Some people have put the career zones there. Just the top 3 competencies. Okay, keep coming, keep coming. Thank you, guys who have contributed. Thank you very much. I give you another question. Junaid, I love that you have just abbreviated all the competencies there. Great. No, we will not run the poll. We will do that in some later session. Now, just give me a one answer, and it could be, there's no right and wrong answer. what stops you from progressing towards your goal, whatever goal you have in mind? What stops you from progressing towards your goal? If you know what your goal is, Muhammad Asif said me, Tamina said nothing, too many options, time management. Overthinking, self-fears, risk, pessimistic approach, lack of focus, clarity issue. So I think today we will end this session with this question, but before we go to the next session, you have to really come back. What are the top 2 or 3 things which is stopping you from progressing towards your goal? It could be your fear, it could be your competencies, it could be that you haven't set the goal for, like somebody mentioned here, the lack of clarity, going out of comfort zone. Yeah, that's the important one. Fear to take risk. Yes. Me was, again, Asif said, me myself. That's a great answer. It's me, how I think, and it's the imagination which I may not have, and sometimes it's a fun and which I cannot feel today based on the success. So the question for you for today, I have got 2 or 3 things for you for today. एक तो आप लोगों ने कैरियर जोन की एसीसी की ग्लोबल वेबसाइट पे कैरियर जोन्स और उससे रिलेटेड रिसोर्सेज को bare minimum scan करना है. Anybody who can put more effort would be great. One thing. Number 2, आपने clarity, थोड़ी सी clarity लेके आनी है कि what you want to achieve in your life in next 5 to 10 years. Ideally, keep it simple, keep it more tangible goals. Ideally, financial goals would be great. And then you have to come up with the answer, what is stopping you from achieving those goals? ठीक है, कैरियर जोन देखने हैं, अपने गोल्स को एक दफा दोबारा देखना है, और एक आपने देखना है what is stopping you from progressing towards your goal. कोई सी भी 5 चीजें आपने देखनी है जो आपको स्टॉप कर रही हैं प्रोग्रेशन से. माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट, कैपिटल, lack of mentor, fear of not
can they be given this task for their unmoderated session on Saturday? We'll be sharing the details.
Now I'm going to hand over to you. So आप थोड़ी सी गाइडेंस, हारून, 2-3 जगहों पे गाइडेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट आई हुई है. एक गाइडेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट है how to access recordings and how they can access these PowerPoints, PPTs, and second is you might have to explain them the unmoderated session, how it's going to work.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Sajid. Ladies and gentlemen, we have created our WhatsApp group today, and I can see about 140 to 150 people who've joined the group already. We are expecting more than 200 people to be in that group. So number one, we'll do all the correspondence about where to find what through that group. For example, I have just shared the link for the previous session, which was held on the 30th of March. I've just shared that link in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so those of you who are looking for the link, it's given. Now, the link for the first session will also be shared with you in a little while, again on that WhatsApp group. Number 2, Sajid has explained to you the work for unmoderated session. The modalities of the session we're going to share with you. We're going to discuss, Sajid and I, we're going to discuss what is the best group size. Do we break down into groups of 20? And The interesting part is going to be that you're going to select a group leader who's going to conduct the group on Saturday. So all groups that we will create, I'll share the list of the groups on WhatsApp. The groups that we will create, when you go into the session at 6 o'clock on Saturday, the first thing you're going to do is select your group leader. And this is an activity that we will continue for every unmoderated session. Everybody, or at least most of you, not everybody, should get a chance to become a group leader. Okay, so your leadership qualities are going to be put to test as well this way. So what we're going to do tomorrow is, if all of you are vigilant in the group, we will share the links for Microsoft Teams, which you're going to use to run your group unmoderated sessions. Okay, so just as Sajid and I and Shahid, we've finalized the number of groups and the participants per group, right? We are going to share the links with you on the WhatsApp channel. So I hope that makes it adequately clear. If there are any questions, you can type them in. Otherwise, you can also type in your concerns or questions on the WhatsApp group. Akbar, I've just read your question. I had circulated an email to all the members who were selected for the 7 Digits program. I had sent an email to all of them with the link to join the WhatsApp group. Around 140 members have already used this link and have joined the group. Okay, find that email. If you can't, let me know and I will send it once again. Okay, even though I have set up the email in a way that those who do not open it up are going to receive it again in a couple of days. But if you don't, please don't wait. Get in touch with me and I'll send the email to you once again. Okay. If there are any other questions, I'll be happy to answer. If not, like I said, we will be talking on WhatsApp. Sajid, this last question from Masood Faiz, if you can explain their work to them once again, the 3 questions that you said.
So the 3 items you have to look at, Masood Faiz. The one is career zones. Go and scan it on the website so you will get more information. I don't want to pinpoint what you should be looking at. Scan it. Look at the different content. You will figure out that what you are more interested in. The other, set a goal. At least if you don't have a goal, set a small goal for you, or ideally financial goal for you in the next 5 years. And then the biggest question is that what is stopping you from progressing towards that goal? Top 5 areas which are constrained for you to really achieve that goal. So there are 3 items which you will be discussing on Saturday. There will be certain group you will be sharing, people will be sharing their views around it, and let's see how it goes and what you learn from that. Just going back to a couple of fundamental things based on the last 2-3 interaction. आज मैंने एक term use की थी, customer obsession. Keep that in mind. Customer obsession के बगैर you can't do anything. और आप वो जो हम एक बड़ा सिंपल आंसर देते हैं ना नॉर्मली फाइनेंस में कि मेरा स्टेक होल्डर तो मेरे सारे इंटरनल स्टेक होल्डर है और हमारा कोई एक्सटर्नल स्टेक होल्डर है नहीं है, राइट? सो यू ऑलवेज हैव योर कस्टमर, रिगार्डलेस आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में किस रोल में बैठे हुए हैं, कस्टमर आपका हमेशा स्टेक होल्डर होता है. एंड इफ यू आर नॉट थिंकिंग इन दैट टर्म हाउ यू कैन इम्प्रूव द कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस, आपकी डायरेक्शन जो है ना वो सही नहीं रहेगी. तो कस्टमर as a stakeholder relationship management competency, customer is your primary stakeholder and you have to always think how you can create a better experience for customer regardless whatever role you are in, and you will figure out there is a way to really contribute. Number 2, you do not exist in reality. You exist in perceptions. And the perceptions are built based on the experience you generate for other person around you consistently, not one off, but consistently. So just make sure you look around your routine, habits, and behavior and try to get a feedback that what perception you enjoy among your peers, among your friends, within your family. Don't try to ask your spouse. You will get to know a lot of stuff which you never knew before. So just stick to the family, friends, and your colleagues at office, right? So try to understand your own perception and try to reconcile it. Are you really the same person which people have perceived you? Look at your routine, habits, and behavior again and again, I would say. Research capability is a important capability. That's why we don't try to give you everything here. We will give you the indication and some task, and we expect that you will do a research and you will build your perspective. It helped me as well, like as an individual. जब आप अपना perspective लेके आते हैं तो मेरे लिए भी learning होती है. So we learn based on the different perspective which people are sharing. Entrepreneurship is a very good topic. Uh, Regardless you are in a business or you are not in a business, keep thinking in that terminologies. If you start looking at the strategy and innovation as one of a competency, you will always figure out that how you can add more value within your own organization if you are employee or for your own client if you are practicing somewhere. So strategy and innovation always helpful. Stakeholder relationship management, again, customer obsession will be your should be your guiding principle. Governance, risk, and control always help you to get into the execution mode, maintain the integrity of your promise, make sure that you can evaluate the risk, and you can, rather than a risk averse person, you should become a person who manages the risk. And the controls around the execution are very, very important. Digital data and technology, that's the quickest method to scale in these days, so avail it, right? So just based on that, I think that's where we will end. So thank you very much for joining. I hope you got some insights around how you should be looking at your life going forward. And our goal is that in a 40 hours, when somebody will meet you again, they should come back and tell you, you are a different person. We see more maturity, we see more objective conversation, we see you raising right kind of questions. We are seeing certain competencies being demonstrated consistently, and you are more ethical and professional. At least you are more expressive in terms of what you are thinking. That's an important element. So guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that one. So enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.